Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on the Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Caitlyn supplementary guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at well, I'm not going to call it old school, but the previous Caitlyn build before the Energized build. So now, as you guys know, I do think the Energized build is the best build for Caitlyn, which of course involves going for items like Stormrazor and as well as the Magnetic Blaster. But we do still have this Bloodthirster build, which of course when Bloodthirster got buffed, every ADC was rushing this, and then Stormrazor got buffed and it's a pretty cheap item. So Caitlyn normally likes to take that one and take Bloodthirster later on. But what if we go for the Bloodthirster build? Well, we're going to take a look in the gameplay later on. But not too much to explain the build, honestly, it's pretty straightforward. We have the Gluttonous Greaves for the AD and the Omnivamp, Bloodthirster for the high amounts of AD and physical vamp, then we have Magnetic Blaster for the additional range, and in this case we're actually even going for Infinity Edge, which is not really the best item on ADCs, and honestly in this case you can even sub it out for an item like Shield Bow, for example, if you prefer. But here we have IE for the raw AD as well as the increased crit damage. We have Mold Reminder for the armor pen as well as the Grievous Wounds. And last item is pretty flexible, you can get whatever you want. Now, a lot of games you are into a very tanky team, which is why some people like to take Bork as a last item on Caitlyn. But of course you can go for other items like Maw as well, Shield Bow, whatever you need. And for the runes, of course, Lethal Tempo for the attack speed and the extra range, Brutal because you auto attack a lot, Giant Slayer to counter them tanks, and for extra attack speed we got the Alacrity, and also for the defensive capabilities we have the Bone Plating, and for the spells we have Flash together with Ghost. You can take Exhaust if there's multiple assassins on the enemy team, but generally I prefer Ghost for the mobility. But with that quick description, now let's go into the gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay itself. Obviously, Caitlyn, very lane dominant champion. Her best supports are Lux and Morgana, which we do have a Morgana in this game, and the reason for that is when they hit their long range non-committal CC, Caitlyn is able to chain CC with her traps and then into the full combo of the WQ, and proccing them hit shots later on. Of course, you could argue that, hey, this also works with the engaged support. Yes, it does, but the main reason why Lux and Morgana are so good is because they are engaged is non-committal, which means that they don't have to throw their body in, unlike a support like, let's say, a Leona, an Alistar, or Nolus, who has to actually put their body in there. These enchanters can launch their CC from long range, and if they hit a root, you can go in. If they miss it, then so be it. Nothing really changes, except that they of course don't have their cooldown, but yeah, you guys get the general idea. So here, we're playing into a Jinx Jarvan. Now, Jarvan is a pretty interesting support to play against. Jinx gets rooted here, so we do get a little bit of extra free auto attacks. Jarvan, of course, is not really the best support, but he's not to be underestimated because he does have a knockup in his kit. He does have that shield and slow as well, and of course, when he gets the Cataclysm, he is going to trap you inside, and that's of course going to obviously be a bad thing, especially if you have no mobility. So nothing to scoff at. But yeah, so here Jinx for some reason gets super baited by the toolkit and gets rooted by Morgana, and because of that we're able to auto her down and get the kill. Now Jarvan tried his best to save her with the exhaust, but honestly the Jinx is just trolling there. Now I'm not sure why, but it's been like over 2 months since the toolkit has came out, and I still think it's the #1 reason for me winning a lot of lanes. Now you can see this is the case in point, where basically the toolkit, yes, it does have some useful stuff. In particular, the most useful thing you can probably get is that small little tower that helps you take tower plates. It does have some other useful stuff like, like the heal and whatnot. But really, whatever is in there is not worth your life, right? Like, yeah. So anyways, before we get too much into it, let's see what we're doing here. We're rotating over. Masti is doing an amazing bait, just standing still. Baits the fiddlesticks in, and Masti picks up the quick kill. Yeah. So the standstill bait always does work, People think you've AFK'd, but in reality it's just a bait. Yeah. So yeah, contesting the way I see it is that the toolkit is basically meant for whoever is already winning or whoever can get it in a safe position. Like, normally I would say the support wants to get it, because the ADC, if you go for it, you're going to put yourself in a position where you're kind of stuck in that little circle where basically you're CCing yourself in that circle. And this makes it very easy for the support to land CC on you, whether it's an enchanter or a tank. But it's going to make it very easy to land CC on you, and that's obviously never a good thing. And you're going to get caught and you're going to die, which is exactly what happened to this Jinx. Of course, If you know you can get it in a safe position, like no one is contesting it, things like that. That's always going to be good. Now here you can see I've already put a trap down and 2 traps down on there. So whoever takes it, Jinx takes it, gets trapped, gets headshot. Jarvan gets trapped, gets rooted by Morgana, has to flash out. Jinx takes a couple of shots in the back as well. Fiddlesticks ults in, misses the ult completely, and we are completely fine. And you can see that even though we didn't kill them there, them just going for the toolkit made us have an amazing trade. And what did Jinx get for it? Well, she got that little laser that does like negligible damage and just slows you by a ton. Was that worth it? Obviously not. And not just that, they managed to bait their Fiddlesticks into gank, and Fiddlesticks just wasted his ulti on the ground instead of actually hitting anyone. So yeah, you can immediately see that you know, this Jinx, just based off of how greedy she is for the Hextech toolkit, is not a very good player, unfortunately. Like, I have had games where both myself and the enemy team refuse to take the toolkit, and the toolkit is just there and it expires, or someone eventually gets baited by it after a long time. But everyone knows not to go for the toolkit right away. Like, look at that toolkit, it just slowed down the Morgana by a little bit, did a negligible amount of damage, and they lost so much minions, tempo, and all that just because they, you know, they forced going for the toolkit. Jarvan tries to engage onto Morgana, misses. Morgana misses herself. I miss as well. Just a comedy of errors here. Nothing really too big really happening here. Now you can see that after Jinx's 1 death and the fact that she lost minions, I'm actually like 1k gold ahead of her already. And you guys know what 1 kill gives you like 300 gold. So the other 700 gold is pretty much just from farming well and just Jinx missing farm. And we haven't even gotten any tower plates, you know, take note of that. If we did, the lead would be even greater. Now Jarvan gets trapped. We try to combo him, but we're not quite in time. Of course, one of the little challenges of comboing with Caitlyn is you have to be in a really perfect position to follow up with the trap the moment that DCC lands. Now Jarvan goes in with the ulti here. I actually flash out just because I saw the Fiddlesticks over the wall. I believe that is the Fiddlesticks, isn't it? Yeah. So I was thinking he was gonna ult me in the. Well, I was stuck in the Cataclysm, so I didn't want that to happen, so I'm just flashing out. So here, I believe I have Bloodthirster completion, which is why I am backing when... actually, I don't. Why am I backing here? Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I thought I had Bloodthirster completion, but apparently I did not. Yeah, because objectives are spawning now. Obviously, we know Fiddlesticks is doing the dragon, just based off the fact that we know he's in this side of the map, and there's no reason for him not to. Meanwhile, my Jungle Master, he's dead, so he's not doing anything. Jarvan actually rotates down to go for the Herald, which means that if Jinx is here, she's going to be alone. And if that's the case, we can probably bully her on the tower and maybe even kill her if Morgana hits a root. Putting the traps down near the tower to basically restrict the space that she can walk. We've already gotten 2 plates. Jinx gets caught with the Morgana trap, eats a Q for her efforts. And she does get the Mimic. Jarvan is now back. So we can't really bully the Jinx anymore. Jarvan eats Pilt over a Peacemaker of his own. And now I'm coming around the side. I don't think I hit the Q onto the Jinx, but yeah, here Fiddlesticks comes in for the gang. I ghost out of the way. I pop the Blast Plant to reposition. Going for the Fiddlesticks here, trying to finish him off. He's really, really low. I'm really trying to catch him here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get him, not without putting my life at risk. Fortunately, Master Yi is now here to clean up the kills. I ult the Fiddlesticks. I get him eventually. Jinx can't block for him because Jinx is also in trouble. Master Yi picks up a double. I pick up a kill myself. And you know, it's all good. Master Yi goes for the counter jungle. I go for the plates. And yeah, at this point, we are so far ahead compared to the enemy bot lane. It's not even funny. And unfortunately, honestly, I don't think the Jarvan necessarily played very bad this game. Although it's a really kind of off-meta kind of support. I honestly think that the Jinx is the one that's pretty horrible. So like, she's making Jarvan look really bad. Just guilty by association. You know those kind of games where you play in solo queue where... let's say you're the support, your ADC is feeding, and then you just get blamed, and you know, people say you're trash just because your ADC has been dying, you know, a lot, like you know, that kind of situation. I feel that's the kind of situation that Jarvan might find himself in, assuming that his team is flaming him or whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of sad for him, especially when you're playing off meta. You're a lot more likely to catch some flack from your team. But hey, you know, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Caitlyn. As we walk straight into the Zap. So just continuing to CS. Now at this point we can kind of shove them under tower. Fiddlesticks doesn't even have enough damage to really burst us down. Of course we can't disrespect, because if Jarvan ults us and Fiddlesticks ults us, we're still going to be in a spot of bother. So we definitely don't want to, you know, ignore it or anything like that. But yeah, here we're just getting a lot of free hits down on them while they're on the tower, which basically is free poke. Of course, being hyper aware of the fact that Jarvan can just engage on us whenever he wants to. So, it's not like we can do whatever he wants. So here we're just gonna secure the tower, and Fiddlesticks is in mid. So now we know we're in a 2v2. So yeah, that's it. So here you can see I'm finally picking up the toolkit. Why? Because there's no one contesting it at all. No reason not to take it. So here we grab the toolkit. And we can't really buy anything, so we're not actually resetting. I pop the toolkit, I get the one that makes me go faster. It's not really helpful here. But yeah, so now I'm gonna reset. I'm resetting in a very aggressive position because the reset bait is real as well. Like sometimes you reset in an aggressive position, the enemy team just gets that itch to stop your reset, and they get baited, and they get CC'd and they die. But here I have enough for my blaster, so I get the blaster. Here we're going for the kill onto Annie. Morgana lands all of the CC and shields herself to prevent Annie from having any counterplay. And we get Annie. We get the mid lane tower as well. Big fight happening at the bot lane at 2v2. Here we're just clearing out the mid lane. And Jarvan picks up, not Jarvan. Jarvan gets killed and Master Yi picks up both of the kills. So I believe no one should really be on the top side now because we've just seen 2 people die bot, and 2 people I think are rotating towards bot, so I think top should be untended. I'm just gonna push in the wave to just get more farm and to force someone to respond to top, lest they lose all their minions. I'm checking if there's any Krugs here to counter jungle, and there are, so we're just gonna grab that as well. Another good thing about counter jungling the Krugs is we are kind of at the same spot at the wave, but we are kind of hidden behind vision, so if anyone shows up to the wave, we might be able to fight them as well, but no one actually does. So we're just going to quickly clear the wave. Fight is breaking out on the bottom side of the map. So here, I can't take the Hex Gate because that's going to put me behind the enemy team and going to isolate myself. So I'm going to have to walk down there like a chump and see if we can participate in the fight. Now, unfortunately, our team is all pretty much died. Master Yi takes the Hex Gate. It's going to run into 5 people. Don't think that's the play here. I'm seeing if I can help him out here, but I kind of doubt it. Instead, I'm finding myself in a 1v1 versus Annie. She flashes away. Jinx is now kind of out of position as well, but obviously I can't go on to her because I'm not the enemy team is going to rotate. Master Yi has to ult out, runs all the way around the world, all the way back to the top side of the map. Now Dragon is up, as you guys can see. We're just free firing onto whoever we can, stacking up our lethal tempo, trying to get to that bonus attack speed and bonus range. Barely dodging the Mordekaiser pull there. And yeah, we're just using our range to hit whoever we can. Jinx is really low. We're trying to get the kill on her. She lives on 1 HP, which is really unlucky. Now we're hitting the Jarvan because he's the only one really in range. Mordekaiser is actually here as well. We barely do any damage to him, but yeah, I think we've done enough damage to kind of chase the enemy team away. Just taking advantage of the Caitlyn range. This is like classic Caitlyn gameplay where you're max range, just attacking whoever you can. No one can reach you. Mordekaiser, who's their jungler, trying to get in. Master Yi secures with the smite. And yeah, Fiddlesticks and everyone just kind of just trapped in there. We pick up a double. We get feared by the Fiddlesticks passive, and Mordekaiser goes down as well. Akali picks up a double. So enemy team is now aced. We're just cleaning up the vision around the pit. And now we're going to rotate over to mid, push out mid, and maybe get a tier 2 in mid, maybe even tier 2 in top if Master Yi decides to keep pushing top, which doesn't look like the case. So here we're going to push the mid lane, get the mid lane tower. Akali gets a little bit of counter jungling in. I'm getting the traps here to kind of just prevent the enemy team from chasing us, if that actually happens. And now we're just going to reset and probably get some IE components. Actually, we get the entire IE straight up. Didn't know I had that much gold, but we get the entire IE straight up. In this case, I'm 5-0-5. I'm super duper fed. And in fact, I'm like 4k gold ahead of the Jinx, which is like a free IE. So I'm like 1 whole item. Actually, I'm 2 whole items up on her now. She's about to complete Runans, anytime now. But yeah, I'm 1 whole item up on her at this point. Speak of the devil, there she is. Has to run for the hills. 1 auto to her does like a third of her health apparently, if I saw that right. Maybe a quarter. A third is a little bit of an exaggeration. But yeah, so nothing too much is really happening here. Baron is up, but we're not really, of course, doing Baron just outright. Checking the bush before I walk through this danger area, and another ward in there. We spot Jarvan on the rotation. Not really anything much we can do. We still have the headshot, locked and loaded. I'm gonna go back here. I was gonna go back there to take the red buff, but I had to escort my Teemo out to safety. Morgana is a little bit overextended considering what we just saw. happen in the enemy team's blue side jungle. Master Yi picks up another kill onto the Mordekaiser. Actually, I think I said Mordekaiser is the jungler just now at the dragon, but obviously it's Fiddlesticks, so I kind of misspoke there. Anyway, speaking of which, Fiddlesticks is ulting in, a fight is happening. I'm hitting the only target I can really reach, which is the Jarvan for now. Now I was trying to go for the Fiddlesticks, but he ends up going to stasis. I'm going to finish the Jinx instead, finish the Fiddlesticks. I'm going to ult down the Jarvan, who flashes behind the Annie. But unfortunately, Annie flashes with the Master Yi inside of her, which allows Master Yi to actually reach the Jarvan, reach the Jarvan and kill him. So she first saved his life, and then after that, sabotaged him to die. But at this point, we're gonna take the mid lane inhib, and my team as a whole is like 13k gold ahead of the enemy team. So this game is kind of won, unless the enemy team pulls a rabbit out of the hat here. But now we are gonna reset. We're gonna get the more reminder components, presumably, unless we have enough strength to complete the whole thing. Now we don't, of course. But here we're actually going to pick up a stasis because there's no real reason to pick up QSS here. There's not a lot we can QSS, but we can stasis the Fiddle ult, the Jarvan ult, you can try to stasis the Annie ult, and you can stasis while we're in the Mord ult. So high stasis value game here, just with a little bit of extra safety. The stasis come in real handy. Jarvan tries to engage, gets rooted, and we're just full engaging onto him. We flash out of the Jarvan ulti again just because we don't want Fiddlesticks to ult us. Fiddlesticks ults in anyway. We kill him instantly. And here we're trying to chase down Jinx and Mord. We get the auto onto Jinx. Master Yi finishes the kill. Mord and Annie are the only two left alive, and we are kind of pushing into their base with the mid lane at this point. And Master Yi just hardcore going in. We just finished the game, and that's it. Yeah, it's pretty one-sided affair. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.